welcome to another episode of Pub Football with Miles and Jimmy, where we talk about the Premier League and have a few beers whilst we do. Looking back at the Premier League weekend, it is a review show. Also tonight, what we're going to do is film a relegation special. We're going to go through the candidates for relegation and pick the 3 teams that we think are going to go down. That will be out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, going back into the weekend's Premier League results, it started on Friday. Sheffield United beating West Ham in slightly controversial circumstances. VAR. 1-0 at Bramall Lane. On Saturday, the early kick-off, Crystal Palace holding Arsenal to a draw, 1-1 at Sellers Park. Chelsea beating Burnley 3-0 at Stamford Bridge. Everton beating Brighton 1-0 at Goodison Park. Leicester City in a bit of a shock upset, 2-1 at home against Southampton. Manchester United completely obliterating Norwich 4-0. Wolves drawing at home 1-1 with Newcastle before Tottenham Hotspur lost at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium 1-0 to a rampant Liverpool. On to Sunday's games. Watford, a huge win, taking them out of the relegation zone, 3-0 away at the Vitality against Bournemouth. And in the last game of the weekend at Villa Park, Aston Villa were just given a schooling by Manchester City. 6-1 that ended up, and it could have been more if City had kept their foot on the throats of Aston Villa, but they let it off in the second half. Just give them a bit of respite. Starting at the start of the weekend, Sheffield United 1, West Ham United 0. Good win for Sheffield United at home. However, slightly controversial. Another one of these stupid VAR but it's not VAR's fault. It's stupid handball rule where it's headed against Declan Rice's hand from 2 yards away from him as he's making a tackle. Declan Rice goes through, plays in Snodgrass, who scores. Goal is chalked up. What I do want to say on this is that VAR, I've been anti-VAR the last few weeks, and I've changed my mind this week. VAR is great technology that could be used very, very well. However, we're not using it well. It's the Referees Association that's the problem. Mike Riley, what are you doing, you absolute pleb? Come on. But people are blaming VAR and saying VAR is the problem. It's like if someone buys a Ferrari, £200,000,
right,
drives it 200 miles an hour and gets in a horror crash, you go, well, that was the Ferrari's fault. No, it's not. It's the idiot who was driving its fault. That's what the problem with VAR is at the moment. It's not VAR, it's not the technology itself, it's the idiots in charge.
I just don't think it's defined enough, is it? I think it was probably brought to the Premier League maybe a season or so too early.
I don't think it was. It's been used well everywhere else.
It hasn't. No, it hasn't.
The World Cup, it was fine.
The Ladies World Cup, it was carnage. There's points, and the Rice handball, just let it go.
But that's not VAR, that's the rules.
But agreed,
stupid rules.
It needs to be changed. I'm bored of seeing people kind of get done for that. They do nothing wrong. What would you expect him to do? It's going to hit his hand.
Yeah.
It's not his fault, it's not the defender's fault. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's just such inconsistency with what's been kind of given and what's not. It's just becoming an absolute joke at the moment.
It really is.
And it's costing teams points. I saw a tally that I think one of the teams, I don't know who it was, have lost potentially 9 points due to VAR decisions.
And this season, that's relegation zone to 5th, just about.
That is like 50 million quid.
Yeah.
That could cost a team. And that's crazy.
But are they correct decisions, or are they decisions like these stupid handballs and
they are,
millimetre offside?
Yeah, they are bits and pieces where you think, oh yeah, you look back and go, that's probably shouldn't be going. But yeah, it's so frustrating. To be fair, I'm delighted for Sheffield United. It's a very good result.
Still doing very well. I think they're 6th in the league behind Man United at the moment.
They are absolutely flying. But
really
West Ham, massive kick in the teeth.
Yeah,
very
for David Moyes, it's not great. It's not the start had been good, massive win against Bournemouth, but Bournemouth aren't very good. Then they got past Gillingham, which is a banana skin. It's hard when you've been playing as the underdogs to go and then be the dominant team. This is the first chink in the David Moyes West Ham resurgence. Still think they'll be fine.
Well, don't get me wrong, Bramall Lane's a hard place to go, and they should have probably got a point. They'll be fine.
They'll be absolutely fine. Well, we'll do our relegation special later. We're filming that later. It'll be out tomorrow night. So don't worry if we don't talk too much about relegation, because we want to save it all for that. Crystal Palace, Arsenal, 1-1, Sellers Park. Arsenal were great for the first half hour. The Aubameyang goal was wonderful.
Lovely, yeah.
It was an absolutely superbly worked move. Crystal Palace, somewhat deservedly by the end of the first half, early in the second half, came back into it, because at the end of the first half, they definitely grew into the game, and in the second half, Palace were the better team, and Aubameyang can't have any complaints about the red card. It was a shocking tackle.
Yeah, it looked even worse in slow motion, didn't it? It's one of those, isn't it? At the point of real time, Yeah, but slowed down, you're going to get sent off.
Well, you know you can't lead with your studs.
No.
Max Meyer had to go off. It could have torn his ligaments, broken his ankle.
He was kind of, just
but
stumbling
Callum
around.
Chambers walked off and he's out for the season. So we need to wait.
Callum Chambers out for ages.
Yeah, we need to wait. But he walked off when he got the injury. We need to wait and see how Max Meyer is.
Yeah, agreed. As you say, the first Arsenal goal was wonderful. It was lovely football. Passed through from, I think it was Lacazette. Great ball. And yeah, as you say, I believe Palace grew into the game, and it's another one we look at and go, it's 2 points dropped really, isn't it? But being down to 10 men for nearly sort of half the game is...
Well, it wasn't that long. The key moment for me was that Torreira had to go off injured at half time. Guendouzi came on, and Torreira is the key player in that Arsenal side now. Forget Aubameyang, forget Lacazette, forget Ozil. The way that Arsenal have been playing this season, the drop off in intensity, the drop off in quality when Guendouzi replaced Torreira, and they went back to that pivot of Guendouzi and Xhaka that had been so awful through the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
It was so telling. Torreira is the most important player at Arsenal for me.
He's the only one who bites back, has defensive positioning, and is always in the right place. The other two are just, let's be honest, mediocre midfielders.
Xhaka's better.
He is,
and he's staying.
Yeah, agreed. For me, if we had any sense this January, we'd probably go and buy someone who's better in that position, but who the hell do you get? And we don't have any money. So where'd you go?
Santi Cazorla.
Absolutely, I can't believe we got rid of him. Yeah, it's a point. We'll take it. We're going to be fine. We're not going to get relegated. We might go on to that later, but who knows?
I don't think Arsenal will be.
We're only going one way. We've kind of got a little bit of momentum. It's not a great result, but we move on, and we've got Sheffield United at home next.
I think Palace will be slightly aggrieved that they didn't go on to win because they were dominant in the second half, and they
goal was frustrating.
The goal was rubbish. The big deflection over Leno's head. Unfortunate for Leno. Xhaka turning his back isn't great. You need to be a bit braver in those situations. However, Palace knocking on the door second half, they just couldn't get it across the line. I don't know why they've signed Cenk Tosun. It's just another sign. It's just another striker at Crystal Palace who won't score many.
And you've got Giroud down the road who wants to stay in London,
exactly.
Who's miles better than Tosun. Why would you not go and buy him?
Unbelievable.
Just get him on loan. Just pay his wages.
Yeah. Well, they've only got Tosun on loan, haven't they?
That's why he was extortionate last year, so why are you not doing the same?
They got Tosun on loan. It's just a weird signing. It's a weird signing.
Goal was great, because Ayu's goal was the only goal we'll see for ages where it was going in so early, people can celebrate properly. It was going in.
It really
was. No need for VAR, it was going in. And everyone's going, God, it's a great goal.
Both teams are safe in the middle. We will talk more about Crystal Palace in our relegation special. On to 3 o'clock kickoffs. Chelsea 3, Burnley 0. Burnley are a team in real trouble, really struggling. As for Chelsea, great win. Hudson-Odoi, first Premier League goal. It felt a bit, I know he scored a couple of cup goals, but that surprised me.
That is surprising, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. To be fair, Burnley had quite a lot of chances from set pieces early doors. And obviously, I think they had a goal disallowed for VAR.
Yeah.
A little bit harsh. But yeah, as you say, Chelsea had too much.
Well, Chelsea had the centre-back pairing of Christensen and Rudiger. Some people say that's their best centre-back pairing. I'd like to see Rudiger and Tomori. But Christensen's not a bad player.
Who was it? Reece James had a blind.
Reece James at right back. Azpilicueta at left back. That's the only position, if I were Chelsea in this January transfer window, that's the only position that I'd really, really go all out to sign a replacement, because they don't have a really good left back right now.
I think if Azpilicueta can fill in for the season, take it and then do it in the summer.
But that should be the priority. Up front, they're fine. I know they might need a backup striker, but that's only if Giroud and Batshuayi leave. On the wings, they're fine. In the midfield, they're stacked. Centre backs, they've got 4 good centre halves. They've got 2-3 if you include Tariq Lamptey right backs.
Yeah,
left back is the one. Emerson and Alonso. Emerson's not pulled up any trees. Alonso is a wing back, not a full back. That's their position that they need a little bit of strengthening.
If they can just be a little bit more consistent, they'll finish in the top 4 quite comfortably.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they are also very hit and miss.
They're 5 points clear at the moment.
They are, but again, they'll lose to someone rubbish next week, and they'll go, oh, here we go again. But I quite like Chelsea, and I'm delighted to see Abraham scoring goals.
Yeah,
his goal was rubbish. He should have saved it.
Well, he's going to have to. He will probably be starting for England in the next international.
I think he thoroughly deserves to. He's been banging in goals. Danny Ings should be knocking on the door as well.
Yeah.
And it'll be Calvin Wilson or someone else who's not quite at the.
I think it should be Danny Ings. But well, the thing is, he's gonna. Rashford is the other option
Oh,
to
Rashford,
go
yeah.
Rashford and Sterling and Sancho.
Quite well. It's
Greenwood not
chance.
ready yet, but with Rashford, Sterling and Sancho is one option. However, Rashford's not that great with his back to goal. The way England have been playing has been Kane dropping in to get the ball. Tammy Abraham is the player who can do that. So he's in with a real shout to get some England caps, get some England goals. He's got one, and actually put some pressure on Kane for the Euros.
Agreed. If you can keep banging them in for Chelsea, really good chance.
Burnley are really, really struggling. They just can't buy a win at the moment. They're playing poorly as well.
Yeah, agreed. We might come on to them in a minute anyway. So,
we will.
Yeah, 100%.
We will, again, for the relegation special. Half the Premier League is going to be in our relegation special. It's going to be a bit longer than we were hoping.
Down. Everyone under Arsenal's in trouble.
Pretty much. Everton 1, Brighton 0. Brighton are teetering now. They're only 3 or 4 points above the relegation zone. They're playing good football, but when you're there, it's so easy to get sucked in.
Yeah, agreed. And I can imagine it was a terrible game. But fair play to Everton.
Great goal from Richarlison. Lovely goal. Yeah.
Good.
Turned in the box, great feet, slotted it bottom corner, very good. And Everton needed that.
Everton got to grind it out at the moment, and they get some results.
The loss against Liverpool, and then the Fabian Delph incident, where they've been sliding into his DMs, giving him abuse, and the fans turning up to training to slaughter the players. All of those incidents led to this was a must-win for Everton.
Oh yeah, 100%. But fair play to them, and it'll be interesting what he does in January. I've got a feeling he might try and go into the market and buy a couple of players. We'll see. But yeah, no, they're all right. Everton, it's not the end of the world for Brighton. I still think they'll be okay. But again, we'll come on to it.
Yeah, we'll come on to it. An Everton fan pointed out to me that the reason that Everton are where they are, they've spent a lot of money, but they seem to just buy top 6 castaways.
Oh yeah, Sigurdsson's a castaway. There's loads of rubbish.
He went to Swansea and did well, but he was a Spurs castaway. I think that was the wrong decision. Iwobi from Arsenal was never good enough. Walcott was again on the way down, never that consistent. Yeah, they've got Richarlison who was coming up. Luca Digne, again not good enough for PSG.
He's not consistent.
No, and Sadivi's there, who's a World Cup winner. So it's there's a weird mix of good players at Everton that haven't really been performing well as a team. What they need is a replacement for Andre Gomez. They need this player who can pick the ball up in the midfield. Tom Davies is all action, a bit similar to Fabian Delph for me. Yeah. They need Morgan Schneiderlin's not good enough. Sigurdsson's been the one doing it, actually playing deeper in a 4-4-2 recently. I'd like to see them pick up, go in for Calvin Phillips at Leeds. See how much, test them, see how much they go for. He'd be great at Everton.
Phillips, do you?
I do. He'd be great at Everton.
He's a very good shout for the England squad.
He won't get there from Leeds.
My words, he's a very good. We're going to talk about someone in about 10 minutes' time who I think is a very good shout as well.
I think I know who that
we'll
person
come
is.
On to
Is it a left back?
Yes, it is.
Does he play in Manchester?
He's very good.
He is very good. We'll be talking about
that
very soon. Leicester City losing at home to Southampton. That wasn't in the script, Leicester City.
No, but Southampton are the form side.
Yeah, Danny Ings scoring again.
And he hit the bar twice. Yeah. He should have had a hat-trick. Fair play, Southampton.
Do you think that the 9-0 loss has actually turned out to be a good thing for Southampton?
It was a catalyst, wasn't it?
It was their rock bottom moment.
Yeah.
It was their, it can't get worse than this.
Yeah.
We need to improve. It went into an international break, so Hassan Huzel had a bit of time to go right. Or it was a cup break. They played the League Cup.
There was a game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I think they drew
with Manchester. No,
they drew away at City in the last minute. They drew it.
Yeah.
And that could have been a point where you go, well, I'm just not going to win any games.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased for them because there's quality there. There's a lot of Premier League quality there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I
Ward
like
Prowse,
their team.
There's some decent
Cedric
players.
Suarez is a great right back. Ryan Bertrand's a good player. Gineppo was on the bench, but he seemed to have come through. Shane Long's always been one of those players who's Premier League level.
Højbjerg's good enough. There's enough quality there. Redmond's a decent player. He's just not consistent enough. Yeah. But he's decent. And I'm so pleased. The problem is, if Danny Ings wasn't scoring at the moment, they'd be rock bottom probably. And they would be. They've got no one else who's going to score goals. Shane Long scores a goal every.
Shea Adams has been linked with the move back to the Championship.
He's going to Leeds, and that's a great signing. Great signing. And I'm so pleased for Southampton because I really like them. I like Hassan Huzel, and they're going to be fine if he keeps doing this for another 3-4 games. They're fine.
Yeah,
they are fine.
They only need another 12 points.
Exactly.
To get to 40,
that's 4 wins. That's done.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Go on, Holland.
Go away. Take an early bath. It's just chill out.
I really like Southampton. I'm so pleased for them.
Yeah, so am I. As for Leicester, they'll finish in the top 4. But again, this is where there's a little bit of a speed wobble. There was no Tielemans in the starting lineup. He didn't play that well against Aston Villa. Ndidi's out. Chowdhury's playing there, who is a good player, but he's not as good as Ndidi. This is where the squad depth is being tested. I know they played their reserves against West Ham and beat them, but that was a poor West Ham side.
Yeah.
I still think they need a centre-back, a decent backup centre-half for Evans to see into, because I don't think Morgan is great. He's sort of a bit over the hill. Prayet's all right as well, but it's not the same level as that Leicester team that have been doing so well.
No.
And the longer these players remain out, the more chance it is that they'll slip back towards the rest of the pack.
I agree. As you say, we mentioned them 3-4 weeks ago. They've got a real good chance of challenging Liverpool. No chance.
No.
They are susceptible to drop points against poor sides. They don't have the squad depth, as you mentioned. And they will get found out for a couple of weeks. And it's not the end of the world. They've done really well. But they aren't there yet.
If you count the League Cup semi-final, it's 2 bad results against 2 poor teams in a week.
100%.
Well, poor. Southampton aren't a poor team, but 2 teams that are perceived to be a lot worse.
Yeah, I don't know if it's overconfidence, thinking we should absolutely steamroll them, or as you say, it's a couple of injuries that cause carnage. But they aren't quite at that level, but they've done brilliantly so far, and I still think they'll finish in top 4. They're way better than...
Oh, absolutely. I think the top 4 is going to be the top 4 that we have now.
I think they're going to finish 3rd. I really do.
Yeah, so do I. But
I hope they do.
They do need to iron out, but they've got the manager in to do it. Brendan Rodgers is very, very good.
They might go do something in January. He might find a gem somewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does. And
Calvin Phillips.
Yeah,
you never know.
He will find someone who goes, you know what, he's spot on for our side and will improve us, and I hope he does, because I really like him.
And that's what he always does very well.
Decent
He
centre-half.
did it well at Liverpool. He's done it well. Did it well at Celtic, and now he's doing
good
it
centre
well.
half who can come in and then take over from Evans in a few years' time. There you go.
A young quality centre back. I would be even looking at someone at Man United like Axel Tuanzebe. I know he'd want to play for Man United, but Man United realistically are going to keep trying to sign players to go in ahead.
Yeah, you had Christoph Affer at Celtic. He's only about 21, but he could step in. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back there.
Yeah.
That would be spot on. He's massive, he can tackle, he's good in the air.
And he's young, so he can learn.
Exactly.
Moving on to the player I think we're both picking for Man United 4, Norwich 0 at Old Trafford. The player in question is Brandon Williams.
Oh, he's an absolute gem, isn't he?
He's a fantastic fullback. And the thing is,
he's ahead of Shaw.
England are blessed at right back at the moment.
Yeah,
you look at right back. Trent has got it nailed down. Trippier's doing well out at Atletico. He seems to be second choice, although I think both of us would pick Wan-Bissaka ahead of him.
Yeah.
You got Cole Walker still sniffing about, and you got Reece James.
Yeah.
That's 5 very good right backs already. You could put Tariq Lamptey in for the next 5 years if he actually gets a game at Chelsea.
Players who go,
but that's 5 that right now could all step into an England squad, I believe.
Yeah, 100%.
On the left-hand side, however, you've got Chilwell. Shaw's always injured.
Rose is
gone. Rose's form is completely deserted. And this season for Tottenham, he's been poor. He's been very, very poor. Brandon Williams, is playing very well quietly for Manchester United, and it would not surprise me. And actually, he would deserve to be in the next England squad ahead of Danny Rose, who will probably get picked ahead of him.
I think he's going to the Euros. I really do.
I think he should.
I can see it. He's ahead of Shaw already.
Well, is he or is Shaw still injured?
I think Shaw's injured, but the way he's playing, he doesn't come straight back into the side. He's got to earn it.
Yeah.
And he's playing so well. I just love his athleticism. He absolutely flies down that wing.
He's tough as well.
He is.
His cousin's a boxer,
he looks
I think.
really lanky. He looks like me and you, who are terrible at football. But he's got a bit about him. And he should have scored.
Both footed as well.
I really like him. He reminds me of a young Gary Neville.
Really?
There's something about him that makes me think he could be there for 15 years and he can have an absolutely stellar career.
Yeah.
And
I think he should go to the Euros.
And I agree. I think Chilwell's slightly dipping at the moment. He's not going to take his space, but take his place. Sorry. But I think he's close at the moment.
I asked a Manchester Evening News journalist on Love Sport on Sunday whether he thought Brandon Williams should be in the England squad, and he went, "I hadn't even thought of that." And I think that's what a lot of people's opinion has been.
He's under the radar.
He's under the radar, but he's playing so well, and England are so light at left back at the moment.
Yeah.
For me, he has to be in there because Danny Rose has been awful.
I think yesterday was the first performance you go, oh Christ, he's playing well. I've seen him a couple of times before.
Yeah, but he's always played well.
Exactly,
He's stepped up to every occasion. He's only 18 as well.
It's the first time you go, he's actually producing on a kind of consistent level at the moment to make him...
There's always one of these players. It was Barkley at the 2014 World Cup.
Theo Walcott come out of nowhere.
Walcott had 6. That doesn't count. I don't count that. That was stupid. But you've got you go back to 2014. You've got Ross Barkley out of nowhere got into that England squad for that season. He played really well for Everton. You go up to the 2016. You could count quite a few players. You could just about count Eric Dyer, Dele Alli, even Harry Kane to a certain extent. They all sort of through that season. Harry Kane less so because he'd made his debut, but the other two came out of nowhere that season to all of a sudden be England starters. In the last one, it was Trent Alexander-Arnold in the World Cup, where yes, he didn't play really during the World Cup, but all of a sudden he was in that squad. Brandon Williams for this Euros. There's always one, and he's going to be that one.
He is. We are so short of left backs. He is at the moment second. He's miles ahead of.
But he might even be better than Chilwell defensively.
Well, that's the thing. Chilwell's had a shocker in the last couple of weeks, and I expect him to improve on that. But
Chilwell should
give him
start.
a chance. We've got some rubbish fixtures probably coming up. I assume we've got friendlies. Give him a chance.
Brandon Williams deserves a call up to the next England squad, absolutely. As for the rest of the game, because other players did play, believe it or not. Rashford got a couple, Martial got one. Juan Mata played exceptionally well. The pass for Rashford's first goal was just... Where's that Mata been this season? That's the player that Man United have been crying out for, someone who can unpick a defence.
I really like Mata, he's just had a shocking season. But when he turns it on, he's a very good footballer.
Yeah. They've needed the player to unpick a defence.
Yeah,
he's that, especially with the pace they've got.
It's a weird one because wherever Mata's gone, he's been great. He's great at Chelsea, and obviously he went to United, started really well, and he's just been so poor this year. I really like him. He's a poor man Silva. He really is. It's decent though, but they do need something else there, and they have been mentioned with Bruno Fernandes, so I can see that happening. They desperately need someone in there.
Very, very heavily linked, but they've been linked with Bruno Fernandes for the last 2 transfer windows.
Yeah, but I think we've got to go in now. I know they won 4-0, but they're still playing like
rubbish. But the thing about Man United's transfer rumours, especially since Sir Alex Ferguson left, they've been linked with so many players, almost guaranteed in the newspapers, and barely any of them have come off.
Yeah, agreed.
Barely any.
4-0 was a great result. I'm delighted to see Greenwood score another cracker as well.
You mentioned Greenwood for England. For me, it comes too early. He's not starting a lot. Yes, he's scoring and he's doing well. However, I look at Greenwood right now and I don't want him to get too overhyped too early in terms of England. And I'm looking at other strikers. Abraham's scoring more goals, Ings is scoring more goals, Harry Kane's there.
I agree, there's better people in more experienced positions, and they've been there, they've done it, they've seen it. But he would be my wildcard pick. I'll take him.
No, Brandon Williams is mine. This time next year, Mason Greenwood will be in the England side, but just not yet. Unless he's starting the rest of the season, and he actually gets a run in the side.
That makes a difference. Every time he plays, he makes a difference. He scores, he sets something, he just does something. And I think that's...
The international level's another step up.
I completely agree, but when you've got someone who does something every time he plays, he either scores or sets someone up.
Who do you drop? You can't not take Abraham. You can't... Now, Ings is ahead of him. Callum Wilson
I wouldn't take Callum Wilson a million years.
No, I wouldn't take Callum Wilson, but Ings is ahead of him. Abraham Kane's there. But you don't need a fourth, that's Rashford.
But that's fine, but... Man, Greenwood can do the same thing.
Yeah, but then you're taking out. I'm not sure Hudson-Odoi's got much of a chance of getting there. But then you're going to lose. Then you're going to lose maybe a Grealish. You're losing it. Sancho has to go. Sterling has to go.
They're not going to go. You know your first 11 is then who you pick after that.
Yeah,
and for me, I'd look at it.
I think you'll end up losing a Grealish or a Maddison or someone for Greenwood, and I wouldn't.
Oh, I'd probably bid off. Well, they're both not going to go. Sorry, so one of them's going to miss out.
We'll see. Grealish can play. Both of them can play off the left. Mason Mount is also not guaranteed.
You know for a fact Barkley's going to go.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Anyway, Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Wolves have had a little bit of a wobble recently. They lost against Watford.
Yeah.
Who was it that last weekend they didn't do too well against? I think it was another draw.
United.
FA Cup draw against United.
Awful.
Now they've drawn with Newcastle. I don't know if it's just the influence of Adama Traore waning slightly, but it's a little bit of a wobble. Going 1-0 down to Newcastle at home isn't what
Newcastle team have got injuries galore, literally have the bare bones.
The long staffs. They're playing Hayden at left back.
Yeah, to be decent, absolutely fantastic result in Newcastle, by the way. But as you say, you look at that game and go, got to win it, surely. Yeah. Surely they're there for the taking. And
they haven't had a midweek Europa League
No,
game.
exactly. There's no excuses anymore. I know it's been a tough
all these
program,
people saying they played so many games this season since the middle of July. Well, they should be fit.
Yeah, agreed. And you're right. There's been nothing this week. I know they had the FA Cup the week before, but
they played on Saturday.
Terrible.
They had a whole week in between games.
Yeah. They're at the end of the day, they're going to be fine. But there is a little bit of a dip at the moment, and I don't.
They're just not going to. I'm not sure they'll get a European place. That's the thing. They'll be a top half team. They'll probably be a top 9 team. However, every result like this makes every Sheffield United win all that more important. Especially when you've got teams like Arsenal and Tottenham sniffing around them just below.
Yeah.
You sort of go for Wolves, right? If you want to get into Europe again, you're either going to have to win the Europa League, which means you qualify for the Champions League. Jesus. Or
I could see them doing that. But they're going to take it really seriously.
Yes, they will take it really seriously, and so they should. But in terms of league form, they need to win most of these home games because Arsenal are getting better. Tottenham, they're linked with a few players, will hopefully get better. You've still got Man United there above them. Sheffield United are doing so well. Everton are improving. This is the time when Wolves can't afford draws at home against Newcastle.
You look at their season. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference what they do for the rest of it because it doesn't matter. They're going to be fine.
Yeah,
but they're not going to go. They're not going to get back to European football.
That's what they should be.
But I don't think they should. I think you go. Do you know what? Let's give the Europa League a really good go. Ignore the Premier League. Finish 15th. Doesn't make a blind bit of difference. Then give it a massive go again for Europe.
They're top 10 side.
I would do it that way every single year. If you went, do you know what? We'll give a season away to play in the competition itself. And then go again.
If they don't win it, they lose Neves, they lose Moutinho.
Oh, agreed. They are the club who you look at and go,
Traore
cannot keep bringing in these little gems from Portugal who are very good. They're going to go elsewhere soon.
Yeah.
And that train is going to come to a halt and they might be kind of staring relegation.
Right, let's keep this rolling though. Spurs losing at home to Liverpool. I tweeted this as well. I've got the most likes ever. I've got like 50 likes.
I did see it. I cringed slightly because I was so disappointed you got so many for it.
What I liked about the Spurs performance was everyone worked hard. It was compact. We limited Liverpool to very few chances, and we looked threatening on the break. Tottenham did look dangerous going forward.
I thought we should have won the game.
However,
miles better.
Liverpool just showed that they're a better team than Tottenham. Because as we did look threatening on the break, every time Liverpool did get near the Tottenham goal, you sort of thought, oh, something's going to happen here. That's the difference in the sides. Liverpool, you think something's going to happen. Tottenham, you just go, yeah.
You had like 3 or 4 clear-cut chances to score a goal. And the Lo Celso one especially, oh my God, how the hell he missed.
I've got a sinking suspicion that if that had gone in, VAR would have ruled him to be a couple of millimetres offside.
Just, you absolutely dominated, and I
don't think we did. We dominated the last 20 minutes. Before that, we sat back and we soaked it up.
I only watched the second half, but you absolutely dominated it.
But it was what Man United did against Liverpool. They're the only team to take points off them this season. It was the way to play against Liverpool. It was the only way we could. But if we'd have gone out 4-2-3-1 like Tottenham normally play, and we'd have gone at them, Liverpool would have picked us off and scored 4 or 5.
Oh, agreed. I also think there's a massive psychological thing to Liverpool at the moment. They're on such a good run that I think it's getting to teams as well. You think we're not going to win. Well, and it doesn't matter what teams do. You should have won that game.
Yeah,
there's so many chances.
But that's what makes Liverpool so. It's one of the things that makes Liverpool so great. And there are so many people on Twitter saying this Liverpool team aren't all they're cracked up to be. They're not that great. They're so beatable. A lot of Chelsea fans are saying this, and they said we should have beaten them, but you didn't. The main thing about Liverpool that makes them so great is that they find a way to win every single week. It doesn't matter whether they play well or not, they find a way. That's why they're the best team in the Premier League. That's why they're the best team in Europe. That's why they're the best club team in the world at the moment. And it's why they're probably one of the best teams in the Premier League ever. Because they always find a way to win. It doesn't matter about the performance level. And against Spurs, they played well. They were fine. Tottenham, I think, dealt with them relatively well. I thought that Japhet Tanganga was fantastic at the back. Yes, he got turned for Firmino's
goal. That was a moment of quality, though.
Exactly.
Absolute moment of quality.
Much more experienced players who've had decorated careers will get turned by Bobby Firmino. In his Premier League debut, He was absolutely fantastic, Jeff Tanganga. He played very, very well.
Phil Jones would have been on his arse at that point. So.
Oh, yeah, gurning.
Yeah.
On his backside gurning. But no, this Liverpool side are as good as people are saying they are. It's just the people who don't appreciate what it takes to win every week that are going, oh no, we should have beaten them. Well, you didn't. That's what happened. You didn't beat them. Doesn't matter if you should have beaten them, you didn't beat them, and that's why they're so good.
I'm still adamant they'll lose a game this season. But we're running out of games at the moment. I still think they'll lose a game, but as you say, it doesn't matter what conditions the game is, how teams play against them. They will find a way, even if it's a point, it doesn't matter. They're going to go unbeaten. They really are.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. So I want someone to smash them. But
here's a question for you.
Yes.
So, say Liverpool's 50th. Well, would you rather Liverpool went a whole season unbeaten,
No.
or managed to break that 50 game and then lose?
I've got no issue with them doing the 50 game.
It's the season of it. It's the invincible season. Yeah.
That is a big one, and as an Arsenal fan, we're getting every week getting closer to it. And you're suddenly going, oh my god. Because I don't know who else they've got left.
I think Man City is the last one. They've still got to play Man United again.
They've got Arsenal away. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to do anything against Liverpool, but it would surprise me if we turned them over. That would be a game where you go, it's great.
Yeah, but the Liverpool team are that good. But I was happy with Tottenham's performance.
I thought Spurs were great. Absolutely great. I thought the Celso was great. I thought Tanganga, as you said, was great. I love that you put Aurier in front of him.
Sanchez was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
And the thing was, Aurier damage limitation. He was
exactly.
playing almost as a right winger.
Yeah.
Tanganga also did well when he had to play left back at the end when we changed the formation. What did happen for me was Danny Rose was bad. He's just not looking good at the moment. He can't keep the ball. His possession
was wasteful. He should have scored.
Son was a bit wasteful. Ericsson was completely non-existent again. We looked so much better when Lamela and Lo Celso came on. And they're two players that I would start to build this Spurs team around.
I think that potentially was Ericsson's last game.
I've heard he's going to be in the side tomorrow against Middlesbrough.
Inter Milan are knocking at the door at the moment, aren't they? Just get rid of him. He's absolutely useless, and he'll go somewhere and be brilliant.
I'm going tomorrow night, so I'll let you know.
Oh God, it's going to be terrible to watch. I wish you the best, mate.
Yeah,
if it's raining like it is tonight.
Let's quickly get through Sunday's games. A big game for the relegation battle. Watford, for the first time this season, have climbed out of the relegation zone. 3-0 win at the Vitality against Bournemouth. Watford were great, Bournemouth were terrible. I think that's the only way to say it, isn't it?
I'm not even going to mention Bournemouth, we'll come on to it in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Watford are great, they're going to stay up, they're miles better. Job done.
When he says we'll come on to it in 5 minutes, it's a different video, it'll be up tomorrow, the relegation special that we are going to be doing on Pub Football. But Watford look very good, they're going to pull away from the relegation. They've got Tottenham next, which is going to be a difficult game.
At the Vic?
At the Vic, at Vicarage Road, yeah, absolutely. But, you know, Deeney scored. Pereira, actually, one thing I do want to talk about this game, Roberto Pereira scored. So his red card got overturned against Tranmere.
Yeah.
Now, he kicked out against Tranmere. His red card was given not by a split-second decision by the referee, but by VAR. That completely undermines VAR overturning a red card decision that was given by a video referee after looking at every angle. That is really, really bad. It shouldn't be allowed. They shouldn't even be allowed to appeal them.
Good goal, though.
Good goal, but you shouldn't. No, but the thing is, you shouldn't even be allowed to appeal.
No, of course you shouldn't.
If it's been given, it's like I understood appealing red cards when the referee gives it in that. Like you've seen it split second.
I completely agree with you.
Human errors there, great. You know, we give it. Okay, I don't think that's a red card. I appeal it. When VAR's had a look at it and then made it a red card or confirmed it's a red card, I'm sorry, you should never be able to get that overturned.
No, I agree.
It's really poor.
VAR is the bottom line of the rules. If they state that, that is it. You don't question that. That's done.
Yeah, but Watford, fair play for appealing it. They won the appeal. It's stupid, shocking. It shouldn't have happened.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
And I thought it was a red card. He kicked out.
I agree, but don't get me wrong. Even if Pereira didn't come on, they were still going to win the game. So it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. But yeah, Bournemouth are terrible.
And on to the last game, another team that will profile a lot more in our relegation special coming up tomorrow night. Set your alerts on YouTube, by the way, so that you know when it's come up. Aston Villa getting absolutely trounced at home against Manchester City. 6-1. City were fantastic. Aguero is now the highest foreign goal scorer in Premier League history. He's also, I believe, joint fourth outright in terms of all-time goals. You've got Shearer, Rooney, Andy Cole, then Aguero in behind. He's either one ahead of Lampard or tied with Lampard. I know he tied up with Lampard during the game. I can't remember if the third goal took him one ahead of him. He's gone past Thierry Henry in terms of foreigners scoring in the Premier League. Well, he's been fantastic, hasn't he? In the last what's he been here for? 7, 8 years, 9 years?
Yeah, it's a shame he doesn't have a sort of 2 or 3 more seasons because you might have had a real crack at that.
He does.
Yeah, I don't know. What is he now? 32, 33?
No, he's about 30. He's not that old. He came quite young. And the thing for me about Aguero is that he's the model professional. All of these people who look at Paul Pogba and look at the Flash Harrys of football, who cause problems with the manager, who, if the play isn't exactly how they want it to be, if it's not been built around them, they throw their toys out the pram and they have a sulk. Aguero was the best player at Manchester City. Guardiola came in, changed the way they wanted to play. He didn't want to play the way that suited Aguero's attacking style. He wanted more out of Aguero. He started to drop Aguero for Gabriel Jesus. What Aguero didn't do was go and sulk, throw his toys and ask for a move and cause a rift with the manager and lead a revolt of player power in the dressing room. You know what he did? He worked hard, he changed his style, he still scores as many goals, but he's a much better player for it. That's how professional footballers should act.
Yeah, I agree. Look at someone like, it's a weird one, but you look at someone like Ryan Giggs, he changed the way he played to suit how the team was going.
Exactly.
And he's another one, as you say, when
Bergkamp's another player.
Agreed.
Like that.
And when you look at it and go, well, obviously Guardiola wanted to change it. He, as you say, he knuckled down. He appreciated the fact he needed to change what he did, and he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
And as you say, you could get another 2 seasons out of him. All he's got to do is stand up front and score goals.
But he won't though, because he works hard for the team now. That's what Guardiola wants out of him.
But he can do that though. Yeah. He could still score 20 goals a season for another 2 seasons, easy. He's way better than most people in the league.
I dig out Paul Pogba a lot in terms of that attitude problem. I can't stand him, like not playing for the team, playing for himself. But another player who did it was Eden Hazard at Chelsea, who sulked for a season. I hate that out of a football player. It makes me not like them. It makes me happy that it's not gone that well for him at Real Madrid. It makes me really happy. And it makes me really happy.
Fatty.
You fatty. It makes me really happy that Paul Pogba's not doing that well at Man United, because he's thrown his toys, a new manager's come in and got what he wants, and he's still rubbish. It's still annoying. You know, rubbish is wrong. He's not a good player in the Premier League. He's a great player technically. He's got all the gifts of a great player.
He'll go back to Italy, it'd be great again, but he's not suited to the Premier League, and he sulks instead of getting on with it like everyone else would.
Any kids watching who are aspiring footballers, not Paul Pogba, don't listen to Paul Pogba. Sergio Aguero is the model. You look at the way he's adapted, the way he plays, you look at how he gets on with it you don't hear a peep from him in the media, you don't hear a peep about him causing a dressing room revolt. Occasionally you hear he's not happy that he's on the bench, but that's completely understandable, not being happy. Do what Aguero did. So, that was pub football.
Well, hang on, stop. Yeah. De Bruyne's pass, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I was nearly going to swear that. Absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
And he's another one. In 10 years' time, we'll look back and go, what a player he was.
Yeah. I think he's 6 or 7 assists off Henry's Premier League record.
I think he's about 3 or 4, mate.
And he'll get that.
Close.
He'll get that.
And he has just been brilliant, and I love watching him. He makes football great.
Actually, Mahrez played really well.
He did. Mahrez again. Really underrated. Yeah. So underrated.
Before we finish, poor decision from Dean Smith to put Danny Drinkwater in. Has barely played football in the last 2 years. He's barely played for 2 years. He was well off the pace. For the second goal, taking a touch in your own box. I know, and that's the difference between playing in training and playing in a game.
Yeah.
Because in training, the intensity is slightly down, so you can take a touch in those tight areas. In the game against Manchester City, you've got to get rid of it. Get rid now. Unfortunately, he didn't. It was a poor decision from Dean Smith. He
only gets better, Danny. He'll be fine.
Well, you say that. I think he's one of those players that got overhyped because of how good N'Golo Kante was. Things like Nemanja Matic, they won the league because N'Golo Kante was next to Nemanja Matic, giving him 3 hours worth of time on the ball.
You'll be fine, Danny. Don't worry. You'll get 70 grand a week. You'll be fine.
That was Pub Football with Miles and Jimmy. Look out tomorrow night for our transfer special. We'll be back later on in the week on Thursday to preview all of the games for this weekend. Not our transfer special, our relegation special. We're going to do a transfer special later on in the week.
Oh, too much.
Tomorrow night, look out for our relegation special. Set your alerts. Send a comment. Let us know what you want to talk about as well. We are going to be doing more of these specials as we go through the rest of the season. We'll be back on Thursday as well to preview all of the Premier League games this weekend. One thing left to say, and that is cheers.
Cheers.